Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Saturday, the 2nd of March 2024, corresponding with the Islamic date 20th of Shaban 1445. This Majlis took place at the residence of Hazrat Wala in Wasiabad, Alahbadi, UP, India. Hazrat Wala actually informally starts off by saying that on one occasion, Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia Sahab asked me regarding my children, and then engaged further in trying to deeply understand it, being amazed at this. And then he went on to say, the question was that what are your sons doing? And I said they are doing the alimiyat. And he said that all of them. And I said yes, all. And at that time there my heart was saying that what I understood necessary for the one would most definitely be necessary for the others as well. Now Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making qadr of ilm-e-deen. Allah Ta'ala keep us established on deen-e-haq, the true deen, our deen. And there's no greater wealth than this, the ilm-e-deen, having it here, practicing on it, and then returning to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala with it. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala says that here in front of me, the coolness of my eyes, referring to his Pota, grandson, the son of Mauli Abdullah Sahab, Mauli Qari Usama. He asks him to recite a few verses of the Quran, and then formally the Majlis begins. Hazrat Wala thereafter then starts with the Majlis by saying that this year, this compilation is the crux and essence of many copies and diaries, handbooks put together, and the efforts of maybe over 5 decades, 50 years. Dukhul Jannat ke a'mal, the deeds and the actions that will be a means of a person being admitted into Jannah. عن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, narrated from Abu Sa'id radiyallahu ta'ala an, he says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is mentioned, man akala tayyiban wa amila fi sunnatin wa amina an-nas bawa'iqahu dakhala al-jannah. That Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said that whoever eats tayyib, whoever eats halal rizq, and thereafter he practices according to sunnah, and people are safe from his evil. People are safe from the evil of his hands, his tongue, anything destructive from his side. People are safe from that. Then dakhala al-jannah, such a person will enter Jannah. Now just listen to that. Whoever eats halal and then practices, lives his life according to the sunnah, and people are safe from his evil, his zulm, his ziyadati, then such a person will enter Jannah. A person from amongst the Sahaba then, قال رجل يا رسول الله, he said, O Rasul of Allah, إن هذا اليوم لكثير في الناس. O Nabi of Allah, presently in this day and in front of us, this is found abundantly amongst people. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam then replied to that by saying, قال سيكون في قرون بعدي. That not only that, I can see that, and what you're saying is true, it is in front of us. It's found in abundance, but not only that, but in generations after me, this will also be found. This will also be found. Now Allah Ta'ala speaks and makes mention of Jannah and Jahannam abundantly in the Quran Majid. Rather, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, this was actually his complaint and his gripe, that why are the ulama not speaking about abundantly about Jannah and Jahannam. So, speaking on that day, our discussion for today, Dukhul Jannat ke a'mal. The a'mal, the deeds that will be a means of a person being admitted into Jannah. Now here, the last portion of the hadith, when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam replies to the Sahabi, when the Sahabi says, but this is found so much here today. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, yes, even in the generations to come after me, it would be found. It would be found, it will be present. Now this is such a great glad tiding for people like us, for the ummah. It is something very, very great. It is something that will make you stand up in the direction of deeds. You know, what can we say? You can speak about this here for 3 hours, for 5 hours, rather for our entire lives. Yes, not on the level of the Sahaba. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is saying it will be found until Qiyamah. Yes, there will be a Jamaat. There will be a group of people that they will make amal on it. They would help Nasir and they would be Mansur. They would be helped by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even if there is a great possibility that their numbers may be scarce and may be much less, but so much so that we can definitely say, looking at the hadith, that it would not come to an end, because that's what Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is saying. And there is a great glad tiding there for all of us. Allah Ta'ala give us that tawfiq. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala then continues, going and explaining from the kitab there, that towards the end of the hadith, the qawl of the Sahaba, the matlab of it is this here, that this is found much and commonly in our day here. Meaning that we all become mustahiq and deserving of Jannah. But would this year be found after us? It's found in abundance now. But would it be found after us? And Allah Ta'ala knows that best. Allah Ta'ala knows best. So then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions, yes, after us as well, such people would come in the Ummah. Meaning, this year will not come to an end completely and totally. Rather, in the generations after us, this type of khair, balai and goodness in carrying out these a'mal of Jannah would also be evident and prevalent in the Ummah. That towards the end of time, when the fitnas, the trials, tribulations, corruption would become so common, such people would or could become most definitely less in number, quantity. But some people of this nature carrying out and making amal like this year would definitely remain in the dunya, who practice on the hadith and the sunnah tariqah, and they love their lives in this way and in this manner. और वो ईमान व दीन पर पूरे यकीन के साथ कायम व दाहिम रहेंगे, and they would be established on iman and the deen with complete conviction. Babul I'tisam and Ma'khud from Mazahir Haq. Now this hadith there in the start, we didn't say that Rawahu Tirmizi, that Tirmizi has narrated this particular hadith. So Allah Ta'ala bless us with admission into Jannah. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say, Hazrat Wala is saying, that at least one time in the day, ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for Jannah. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-Jannah wa ma qarraba ilayha min qawlin aw amal. Oh Allah, we ask you for Jannah, and for every such amal, whether it be qawl or amal, whether it is physical, the amal, the deed, that good deed, it's physical, or it is verbal, and it will take us close to Jannah. Bless us with that. So in the dua we are asking, oh Allah, bless us with Jannah, and bless us with every such amal that will take us closer to Jannah, whether that amal be qawli or fi'li. من قول أو عمل ونعوذ بك من النار وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل. And oh Allah, we seek refuge in you against the fire of Jahannam and all those a'mal which would take us closer to Jahannam. Oh Allah, we seek refuge in you against Jahannam and all those amals that will take us closer to Jahannam, whether they be qawl or amal, verbal or practical. So, now when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is emphatically stating in this hadith that such people would remain in the generations and in the times to come afterwards that will make amal on this year, on the a'mal which would be the means of admission into Jannah, then should we not make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this? Allahu Akbar. Now one hadith like this here is sufficient to bring a person onto amal. So a'mal akhirat, a'mal jannat, whatever you want to term it, we should make dua for that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us qaim and daim on the deen. Allah Ta'ala right till the end, so much so that our last kalam and our last speech is that of La ilaha illallah. Now, as long as there's life and there's strength and this majlis is carrying on, Allah Ta'ala accept it through the barakat of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on our behalf. And Allahumma khfir lana warhamna, make dua for all the Muslims as well. Allah Ta'ala forgive us, and Allah Ta'ala have mercy on us. So Allah Ta'ala let us make amal on this year, and let our demise and death come on us in this way, that we are in these a'mal, the a'mal of Jannah. And may Allah Ta'ala resurrect us with the muttaqi, with the saintly, Allah-fearing and pious servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ بِحُرْمَةِ سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.